Up+Adam.
Tractor systems are offline.
We are Beyond FM.
Beyond FM.
The future of broadcasting is here.
Up+Adam with Adam Montiel. It's community content from Concentrate. It's Up+Adam with Adam Montiel.
Some say life is where it begins. Straight to the stars is where it ends. Yes, some say life is just where it begins. Straight to the stars is where it ends. Only to start again.
Happy Monday and welcome back. Thank you so much for being Up+Adam. A gorgeous Slow Cow Monday. Thank you for being here. I am Adam Montiel. Look, these guys, they've been calling the shots and dropping the hammer on the hit show Storage Wars since day one. But what happens when the camera's cut and it's just dust, lockers, and real life? Dan and Laura Dotson, they're not just reality TV stars. They're not just a married couple. They're third generation auctioneers. 1,500 auctions a year. Also the founders of American Auctioneers, from a $500 unit that turned into a $7.5 million safe. Remember that story? Open the safe, $7.5 million in cash, to a double brain aneurysm that stopped everything for this couple. Their story, it's not about just treasure. It's about trust, faith, that fire that they have. I've always been enamored with this couple. And when the opportunity came to talk about the next season of Storage Wars and to get them on the show, I jumped at it. So brand new season on A&E. And this season, not just about who scores big, it's kind of about who's built for the grit. So is this interview. Has the show created a new generation of hustlers out there, or just thrill seekers who, I don't know, maybe don't last? Today on Up+Adam, we're going to talk California roots. They're from Cali. Auction. I'm fascinated with the auction chants, especially hosting these auctions with like Todd Ventura or Jim Settle. The auction chants, they sound like rap battles. We'll also talk about reuniting families with lost memories, which is something cool that they do. And what it really takes to own a room and move money. Let's do it. I'm excited. Lights, camera, auction. We're going to chat with the folks from Storage Wars coming up in just a bit. Before that, a couple lo-fi headlines. One big lo-fi headline before we get into our little nugget of Black history, which I'm stoked on today. We only got about a few more days of these because month ends really on Friday because the 28th is on Saturday. But that Team USA, what a moment, huh? Team USA gone and kicked off the 2026 Winter Olympics with one of the most electric finishes you'll ever see on the ice. Happened in Milan, of course. Winter Olympics ended now. U.S. beat Canada 2-1 in overtime to win the Olympic men's hockey gold medal, the first time the Americans have done it since 1980. 46 years after the original Miracle on Ice to the day. And if you remember, they beat Russia. That was the Miracle on Ice, and they went on to win the gold medal. This one literally won the gold medal with the game. Unreal. How it went down? Matt Boldy got the U.S. on the board early, giving America a lead. They carried deep into the game. And then Kale Mocker tied it up late. I might not be saying his last name correct. I apologize. Makar. Set the stage for a classic because now they're tied, right? Then Jack Hughes, who took a hockey stick to the face, took it right to the grill. Bloody mouth, lost half a tooth. Just looked like your typical hockey bro. But after all that drama, buries the OT winner just a minute 41 into sudden death. They had dialed it down to 3v3. That goalie, though. My goodness, that goalie. How do you say this guy's name? Connor Hellebuck? It's spelled weird, but I think they're saying Hellebuck. Dude was a freaking brick wall, stopping 41 shots of the 42 that went towards him. I mean, this dude was the anchor of the whole thing. Unbelievable. And some of these shots too. And everyone's especially watching Canada kind of melt right now. It's a little sad because, come on, they're so good at hockey. Why don't you just go, they played a better game, we lost, we're going to move on. But no, give Canadians, for as nice as they are, they're a little soft, and they're just like, oh, we were the better team. Well, no, the better team normally ends up winning. So I kind of feel bad for them because I know a lot of Canadian people. They're just the nicest people, but they're having a hard day today. They're not going to get over this anytime soon, especially because for the most part, we don't really care about hockey. America, we got football, baseball, basketball, all these other things. And then to beat them at hockey, especially after the World Series with that Dodgers Blue Jays, that World Series was a nail biter too. And that could have gone either way too. But the problem is Canada, Canadian fans, they're looking at a lot of different things. They're looking at a 5-3 power play. They had the ice 5 versus 3 of us. And they didn't convert. They had I think 2 open nets. One of them, the dude, he's like one of their best players. Dude's sitting right there. The camera shot is so brutal. He's got the puck. He's got the goalie looking the other way on the other side. Shoots if he shot this shot 1,000 times, it would go in 1,000 times. It's the equivalent in basketball to the easiest of layups. And the dude just shot it wide a little bit, hit the post, went left, and you gotta feel horrible for the guy. But look, USA came through with it. So obviously Canada, insane good at what they do. Hockey is their sport. They're awesome at it. But this just went America's way. And the gold medal, these boys earned it. Congratulations, Team USA. And did it right after the women did what they did, the Thursday before. Insane. Gold medals, both the ladies and the men. Unreal. Go Team USA. I think we got second in gold medals in this one behind Norway. Congrats to Norway. I don't know how big Norway is, but they raked in. It wasn't even close, too. It was by several gold medals they won. I think Italy was number 3. So I'll put a cap on the Winter Olympics. And I don't know about, of course, now we can go back to not caring about curling again. That's another thing. Maybe this was their karma. Maybe this was the Canadian karma for doing that finger cheat at the curling thing. He's like, oh, no, I didn't. And that Canadian guy got all macho, and he just looked kind of like a jerk. And he told me, you look at the video, he totally cheated. So maybe this was a little bit, I don't know. Do you believe in karma like that? Shouldn't hurt curling dude's karma shouldn't hurt the men's hockey team. Just a good game. It just didn't go their way, went our way. So congrats, USA. Okay, speaking of USA, we've been doing Black History Month all month long and really trying to give you angles that aren't just barriers, but building. Fantastic stories. We started with inventors. Real You changed the industry in 1846, well before the Civil War. Jones built modern refrigeration and war logistics. Incredible story. Going back to that one, Jennings, he turned a patent into abolition funding. That was an amazing story. Then his daughter, Elizabeth Jennings, won a streetcar case in 1854. We talked to you about Claudette Colvin, who helped strike down bus segregation in 1955, did it before Rosa Parks, but people didn't like her story that she got pregnant young, so they kind of just swept her to the side. Her story was incredible. And then we told you about the 6,888th. They moved 17 million letters, these women, in 3 months, and helped morale in World War II like you wouldn't even believe. And I think the last episode we talked about Jack Sisson, helped capture a British general in 1777. This dude headbutted, went in there like Jason Statham, like a total movie, headbutted the door, reached in, opened it from the inside, and they got this brigadier general. Unbelievable. So today, we step into a little bit more modern times and into an operating room. His name, Ben Carson, born in Detroit, 1951, raised by a single mother who pushed education hard. He became director of pediatric neurosurgery at Johns Hopkins Hospital at just 33 years old. 33. He specialized in pediatric epilepsy. Delicate work, high risk, little room, if none, for error. But the moment that put Dr. Carson put him in medical history, it came on September 6th, 1987. Two 7-month-old boys, Patrick and Benjamin Binder. They were occipital craniopagus twins. I'm probably butchering that whole word up. I'm not even going to go back and try it. They were conjoined at the back of their head. Can you imagine? With the name Binder too, is that? Never mind. The previous attempts like this to disjoin them, they had failed. So this was a very delicate surgery. Carson led a team of 70 medical professionals, doctors, surgeons. This surgery, it took almost a day. They were in the surgery, the operating room, 22 hours. Wow. They successfully separated the twins. It was the first time in history that type of separation actually worked. And that's not just a soundbite. That is 22 hours of precision and a room full of people who could not afford a single mistake. Whatever anyone thinks about his later political career, this medical record stands. Lives were saved, boundaries were moved. Black history is not one lane. It's courtrooms, it's factories, it's battlefields, sometimes it's a surgical table where history changes one incision at a time. All right, next up, a woman who arrived in San Francisco as a cook and left a millionaire. We'll talk about Mary Ellen Pleasant coming up on this next installment. Loved these. There's a few days left as we round out Black History Month this week. All right, what do you say we get into our chat? Our chat with Laura and Dan Dotson of A&E's Storage Wars. First, let me tell you about Paso Wine, because as of February 28th, this deal will go away. This is an early bird for folks who want to go to Wine Fest in Paso. Grand tasting Saturday, May 16th at the Paso Event Center. Now, Wine Fest encompasses all weekend, May 15th through 17th. You got Paired Paso on that Friday. I'll be one of the judges there. Saturday, of course, the marquee event. And then Sunday, they have one called Sparkling Paso. So it's a whole little bubbly session. Sounds like a lot of fun. All these events are just great. Paso Wine, fantastic. We got over 100 wineries connecting on Wine Fest Day, the big grand tasting, May 16th. Fired up food, live music, and more. You want in? $99 if you are a SoCal resident. If you call San Luis Obispo County your home, you can go into the Chamber on Spring Street in Paso, or also in SLO on Monterey. They're at both of them. Gotta go in person, bring your ID, $99. For more info, you can go to PasoWine.com. Also, you can win your way in. Go to AdamMontiel.com. Would love to see you at Paso Wine Fest, AdamMontiel.com.
It's Up and Adam with Adam Montiel.
All right, they've been the rhythm behind the risk and the voices that move the money on Storage Wars since 2010. Third-generation auctioneer Dan Dotson and his wife and partner, Laura Dotson, have turned abandoned lockers into prime-time real estate in entertainment, all while running American Auctioneers and conducting thousands of auctions a year. From California roots in Thousand Oaks and Agoura to a $500 locker that reportedly held $7.5 million in cash. Their story is part hustle, part heart. It is all energy. These folks are great. With Storage Wars returning February 28th with a new season on A&E, let's welcome Up and Adam, the fast-talking, faith-led, crowd-owning duo, Dan and Laura Dotson. Thank you so much, both of you, for being Up and Adam.
Hello, California.
I love it. That is so rad. Yeah, and you know, Laura, you're from TO.
Yes, I am. Thousand Oaks, baby.
That is
Look at
so
that.
cool.
That's
She
nice.
was originally from Inglewood, and her dad was a TWA mechanic, and when they started busing everybody around, they took her from a regular school and bused her like an hour and a half into the middle of LA. And who was the mayor? Jerry Brown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Tom Brown. Bradley.
Tom Bradley,
Bradley.
sure. I remember that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Was in the newspaper with Laura showing about all the new integration and stuff, and
it was- yeah.
So they escaped to Thousand Oaks.
Well, no, my family that lived down there. So here we roll into Thousand Oaks, and we love McDonald's, so we're in there, and the McDonald's in Thousand Oaks had these little saddles that you could sit on.
Yes.
And I said, I just love this town, and he
Yeah.
says, good, because we're buying a house here.
I grew up in Agoura Hills, and we had those saddles. We had those saddles in Agoura too.
Yes. Okay, so we had a little house in Agoura Hills also for Ray's Adobe.
That's where
Look at that.
I lived on Rainbow Crest. Yeah, what a trip.
Oh my God, what a trip.
I know.
It is a small world.
I know. Oh, Dan, Laura, it's so great to have you on here. Thanks for being Up and Adam. Look, there's reality TV, and then there's like real life moments that almost feel too cinematic to be real. I think a $500 locker, a dusty safe, 7.5 mil inside. I mean, what does that when a moment like that happens, does it change the way you see risk, luck, fate?
I love that.
Yeah, I mean, probably, we really are believers, and we just really give everything to God. And, sometimes I've had a buyer show up a long time ago. A buyer showed up, didn't have much money, and I'm trying to sell this unit, didn't have too many people there. Well, I finally just begged like $105 out of this lady, and I got the money, and I'm in the office, and I'm taking care of stuff. She starts bringing in all these tools. She had enough tools in her arms to pay for that unit like 3 times. And then the manager says, oh, yeah, this guy was a drug dealer, and I guess he was fencing or whatever, and now he's in jail. And I'm thinking, oh, my God, I begged this lady. But like God put cotton in everybody else's ears except for hers. I mean, I've had units where somebody set in a price, and you look around and you know that the next bid is very cheap and they should buy it, but they just don't sometimes. And so, you sell it and you think, maybe God puts cotton in some people's ears and amplifiers in the others. I don't know.
Or, a buyer, when you open up a unit, it's just a safe inside. Everyone's looking at it going, oh my gosh, am I gambling on it? Or
Laura calls me one day and she goes, there's a safe in this unit. What do I do? And I said, does it have any feet or hands sticking out the door? Or is there any visible drugs or anything? She goes, no. And I said, well, sell the damn thing. What are you talking about?
Right.
You never know.
And so then
$7.5 million.
Then I told the buyer that bought it, I said, I'll give you $1,000 if you let us open that,
Live on camera.
Like on camera. And
Like Geraldo Rivera.
Right.
We'll get back to you on that. And he never did do that. And they opened it up. And I said, how'd that look? And he goes, oh, it was just empty. But I think he was lying. I think,
He bought himself a new airplane.
Yeah, right. Have you ever thought
It
like having
happened.
someone there to that you split it with and you guys buy it, or is that not allowed, or what?
It's not ethical. When you're an auctioneer, you have to be on one side of the fence or the other. You either need to sell the stuff and not care about what's in it. And that's what the buyers really like. And our buyers are very loyal. They'll show up when nobody will show up. And so, they know that we're not out there competing against them. And if you had one person that you did like a deal with, before you know it, the whole industry would think you were dirty because everybody talks about everything. And so, I don't allow my auctioneers to buy or to team up with anybody, or that's just not what we're about.
Yeah.
We take glory out of the wonderful stories that we get to hear and the great finds, and sometimes the agony of defeat. But
We'll tell stories for a decade or two, like they're brand new. And so that's how I get my money out of these. That's how I get the money out of these, is just telling the stories.
that's how I pitch Storage Wars to the network. There's so many treasures to be found and so many things to be lost that you never know what's in Grandma's attic.
My dad was into this years ago, and before the cameras, this world, it belonged to the grinders, the hustlers, the people who knew how to read a room, how to spot value in dust, and how to take a little risk. And it wasn't glamorous; it was pretty gritty. Has Storage Wars changed who walks into these auctions? Are you seeing everyday people try their hand at this now because of the show, and are they built for it?
Wow.
Some of them are, and most of them aren't. It's a lot of hard work. So anybody that says it's easy, it's not easy. And there's a lot of dust, and there's a lot of heat, and there's a lot of sweat, and there's a lot of trash, and there's a lot of research that goes into finding what's good and what you might have something you think it's good and you blow it out and sell it, and then you find out 5 years later that was worth thousands, and I gave it away. And so you just not everybody's built to do it, but
Right.
it seems like younger buyers are out buying stuff now, which is great. A lot of people will get a hold of us and say, man, I've been watching your show since I was a kid, and I watched 5 episodes last night, and I'm really sorry. I tell them, I said, I don't know whether to apologize or say thank you, but thanks. And so the buyers, good buyers are still out there, but new buyers, they come in and they go out. And now a lot of the industry is going online. We have an online site called storageauctions.net. We have auctions all over the United States, but really all over California also. And our live auction site's AmericanAuctioneers.com.
In California.
In California, if any of your folks want to come out and see us at an auction, we have other auctioneers that we use, but
You never know. You might just show up for filming.
you might find us filming. You might find Dan and Laura out there walking in.
You sound like you could be buying a unit.
You're going to have to come to
I know. This sounds like a lot of fun. I do a lot of hosting with events, and I'll announce the auctions, but I always tell them when nonprofits hire me, you need an auctioneer. Like, they'll go, Adam, you do the auction. I'm like, no, you need a real auctioneer, because it definitely changes the amount of money you're able to get. And I really look up to what you're doing. I mean, because look at you, especially that cadence. I mean, Dan, you've been calling these things since you were, before a teenager. The chant, it's not just rhythm. It's like it's like lineage, muscle memory. It's like family to you.
Beautiful.
What does your auction chant mean to you beyond business? And does it feel like almost like an heirloom that you're protecting every time you step up?
No, that's
I love how you articulate.
No, that is really great. Every auctioneer is really different, and our line of auctioneering is kind of unique. I learned it from my grandfather, and he learned it from a guy named Detman Mitchell, and so we all
and your mom
and my mom, and we all kind of sound a little bit alike. The same rhythm, the same kind of filler words, so it kind of makes it sound like from the same tree. But everybody is unique, and even people from the same family, they'll have a unique way that you can definitely tell. Like, again, they're from the same tree, but they're different.
I think, Danny, coming from the Arkansas family, but Danny being born here in California has brought a California flair with it. And if you noticed, it's a rhythm. It's kind of like he's a rapper. He's got this energy.
My grandfather told me when I was a kid, he goes, if you'll have fun as an auctioneer, you'll be one of the best auctioneers. So, back when I was 16 years old, ditching school and going down and selling furniture and pigs and goats at the Chino auction. An old auctioneer came up to me. I'm selling goats, and he goes, Danny, you need to quit being funny. He goes, don't tell any jokes. Don't be funny. Just no filler words. Just stick to the numbers. And I looked at him, and I thought about it, and I gave him my resignation. I couldn't work there if I couldn't enjoy myself. So I really tried to do things that I enjoy in life. And if I don't enjoy them, I try to avoid them. And if I can't avoid them, I just try to do my best with it and get past it and get back to something I really enjoy.
Wow.
And, Danny found this creative niche of storage auctions. And he said, you know what? I am going to go in there and I am going to help, this problem of storage and abandoned lockers.
All my friends are all my peers, they're all, cattle auctioneers or horse auctioneers or equipment auctioneers or
and you've done
auctioneers. And they were like big auctioneers, right? And I just started putting together these, self-storage auctions. I couldn't make a lot of money, but if I did a lot of them, I could build a little pile. And so that's what I did. And then I just started, expanding out. And Laura came along. She started helping me and selling work. And our son is 28 years old now, and he's off doing auctions.
About $2,500 a year, and we're just keeping busy.
Wow. Yeah. Every locker belonged to someone who fell behind. I mean, we were there when I was a kid, and I lost a lot of stuff because we were having issues. Someone who lost something, right? Do you ever pause and think about that human story behind what's being sold, or is it almost something that you have to kind of emotionally compartmentalize just to do the job?
Yeah, you got to kind of separate yourself from that. But I do get a lot of calls. I mean, we probably get 2 or 3 calls a week from people that lost a unit and they're trying to get stuff back. And a part of our terms are,
Yeah.
if you find personal items like pink slips, birth certificates, body ashes, financial statements, things that you don't need, please put it in a box, put the unit number on, and give it to management. That's our regular terms. And sometimes they do that, sometimes they don't, sometimes they find stuff, sometimes they don't, but
We have helped many
trying to
buyers
find people and
find-
reunite them with some photographs or something means a lot to them.
really
So
does.
It gives me pleasure. It's kind of a pain in the ass to do, but I don't mind doing it. If they're gonna
It makes,
if they're gonna go to the trouble to call us, then I will. I'll talk to that buyer and I'll find out, do you have anything left? Well, I have this or that. Well, these people would love to probably have that.
And it makes all the difference.
Here's a phone number. Don't
Yeah.
call them from your cell phone. Call them from a blocked number.
Yeah.
Don't invite them to your house, but maybe meet them at the Starbucks parking lot.
One of the good things is if they owed a certain amount of money on that unit and we sell that unit for more than what they owed, they are sent back a check, for overages. And that's a surprise sometimes for them. And so it's only,
especially if it's been a struggle for them to pay and then they finally don't have to pay because they don't have it. It's devastating, but probably getting a check back probably
personal
helps.
items does help.
Probably helps with that. Not having to worry about the next month's rent probably contributes to that.
Well, I just can't thank you guys enough. I mean, you guys are, especially you guys doing this together. You guys are, you guys are stronger. Your marriage and your partnership is stronger than the highest bid in the room. I love you guys. I've always been a fan of you for a while. So to catch up with you and have that TO connection really means a lot. I'd love to meet you sometime. So thanks for this.
Hey, Adam, I'm serious. You can come to an auction anytime.
You need our personal number.
You want to do, all you got to do is reach out on AmericanAuctioneers.com, give a call, ask for me, and they'll put you through. And
okay, cool. I'll get to the website and I'll do that. I'll reach out to you guys. I love it. Really means a lot.
Adam,
thanks, Brother Adam.
We're going to be out there February 28th with back-to-back 1-hour episodes on A&E. And folks, don't forget to pay the lady.
Some say life's where it begins. Straight to the stars is where it ends. Only to start again.
I love their energy, right? We got along good. I like them. That was fun. I want to connect with them again. Don't forget New Storage Wars, February 28th. That's Saturday, back-to-back 1-hour episodes on A&E. All right. Links in the show notes to everything Storage Wars, so check it out. All right. What a good-looking week. Absolutely gorgeous today. Looks like we got sun, clouds and sun for the rest of the week, but looking good today for sure. And earlier in the forecast, we saw rain this week, and now I just don't. I think it's kind of going to go around us, and we're looking good. We're going to see temps in the mid-70s, upper 70s by mid-end week. Things might cool down by the weekend, but still looking at sunny skies with temps in the upper 60s. Not a bad looking week, SloCal. Looking good, as you are. Thanks to Moonshiner Collective for original music on the show called Start Again. Working on getting Dan Curcio in the studio to promote their March 20th show, Slow Brew Rock. New music from Moonshiner Collective. Check them out wherever you stream your music. Also, go to moonshinercollective.com. Thanks to Josh and Chiasa Clapper from Tamber Winery, Timbre. Tamber Winery, you can taste their wines in the village of Arroyo Grande. I thank them for the Tamber Lobro Studios. They're also going to be getting together with the Cal Poly EIM department, Experience in Marketing. And we're going to be having 3 young women, 2 seniors, 2 4 years, 2 fourth years. Sorry, I can talk. It's Monday. 2 fourth years and 1 third year. We're going to be doing that. I think they're in tomorrow. It's going to be fun to chat with them. They have an event coming up very soon, beginning of March. So don't miss that. And we'll have all the info on that tomorrow. So we are back with local guests tomorrow. Today at 2:30, remember we had on John Pronich from Libertine. What is going on with, you've seen the headlines, what's going on downtown SLO, the music scene. This has been a culture for a long time. And it seems like one neighbor is able to shake it just seems like a little bit fragile if one neighbor making a complaint about a commercial zone downtown where live music has happened for decades. What's going on here? So there is a public meeting 2:30 p.m. today, Monday, March 23rd, City Hall, and you can go rep, make your voice heard if you care about live music in the downtown area. Because if something like this can rattle the scene, I guess like John made a good point in our conversation. It's better we do this now than anytime later on. So if that's when we got to do it, that's when we got to do it. So you can go support and respectfully let your voice be heard. Again, today, 2:30, downtown City Hall in San Luis Obispo. Okay. Otherwise, I hope you have a fantastic day. I really do. You're beautiful. I love you and so much for connecting here. Rate, review, subscribe to the show wherever you listen to it. It means a ton. If you're on Apple Podcasts, that review that you take a second and type out means a lot. It really, really does. Till tomorrow, I'm Adam Montiel. Thanks again for being Up and Adam.
Some say life's where it begins. Straight to the stars is where it ends. Only to start again. Let's start again. We'll start again. Let's start again.